Amazon's coin of choice and the customer's valuable choice. Zeus is the god of lightning. Don't worry, the title is misleading. Lightning is powerful, but weather is the bigger functionality. In this case, the Amazon is whether or not the customer's loyalty actually has a real purpose. People go through moods, people go through life, and that's why we tell stories to one another. And communication doesn't have to always be mythical; it can be methodical, while being, at lightning fast efficiency. And the problem really with stories is that they put people in these temperaments. They put people's personal problems in areas of congestion. It becomes traffic whenever they think in terms of real time. And even a person displaying the problem may have their own issues as well. A universal database of information is necessary for the sake of saving a life worth knowing. You know? Interest is staked. So this coin should definitely be staked. The algorithm of I am will always have currency unless it ends by a question, such as, I am, and what is it that you say after that? And you can't, there's no way to truly know that or understand that because the hierarchy of individualism is too much for any individual. And the consistency of information is all that is expressed. So let's automate this process. Automation of human processes is related heavily to, myth, which is what makes it a little bit hard to comprehend. But trust me, we'll get to the functionality later. I do want to clarify that when I say the hierarchy of individualism is too much for an individual, is that if you even go into your family line, it's difficult for you to go into your family and think, I know everything about everyone, right? And then we have maybe some inconsistent ideas that are unethical. And this is similar but different. This is more along the lines of products or item specific things that we can easily recollect, just so that it can help that functionality even better, so that people who have, I guess, problems with their families or whatever can develop that functionality. The user sends a description of the product in their own words, and the more useful detail that is present, the more value that description actually has. The coins are staked to influence the EDU coin, which is a coin that really should not be spent. It's mostly the wealth of your information and how you feel about yourself. It's typically. I'm not saying that a lower amount should necessarily mean that you have a lower self esteem, but more so, like it should be something that's relative to the item itself. A part of the item, you know, a suffix, if you will. The blockchain interface without gradients. This right here is, I like this one. It's okay. The colors are very solid, you know, and then I added some gradients to it just to sort of mess around with what could happen with it. I'm not really a digital artist, to be honest. I'm more of a conceptual artist, I guess. And you have the no gradient thread, which is the power. This is a sample from Power Director 19 Ultra. Going into I guess how it will look whenever a person searches through a node to find their their FAQ, the question that they want to actually be answered. This is an advertisement where basically conversation gets turned into currency. And the conclusion is that work ethic is the gradient of workflow. Advertisements are color graded for the purpose of selling the properties of an item, but what is missing from that item is its actual characteristic. Because servicing the customer has no real internalized value, and a user persona is an abstract character that is pretty much abject from reality. It's a cause for strain if taken too seriously or exclusively to particular use cases. Having a dedicated individual for every customer is not possible with 500 million users, and even to people who have very small businesses who don't even have a FAQ setup. So I end this with a question, that's kind of personal. It's a personal question. It's what is the difference between society and anxiety? And I'll give time for a response.
Time has
The
passed.
difference is the logical foundation of the emotions within the society and even within the anxiety. That's the difference. Is what type of foundation do you have for these emotions to exist? What type of logic do you have for society to somewhat exist as a peaceful, I guess, resonant frequency? And that's what I want this project to be mostly based on is eradicating the anxiety around buying or using a product. And beyond that, solving that problem socially to where it becomes a mechanism that is useful all around society, not just limited to Amazon or, it's just Amazon has a pretty big, user base that can be very positive and constructed greatly. So that is the end of my coin. And yeah.